There's a massive Nintendo eShop sale happening right now, and today I've got 15 incredible games to highlight, many of which just dropped in 2024, so from AAA hits to standout indies, I think there's something for everyone, and we're going to be covering deals across the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australia. I've also then got 2 winners to announce later in the video for 2 $10 eShop gift cards, plus 2 more to give away. To enter, just drop a comment down below the winners, they'll be announced this Saturday. And on that note, actually, as a quick channel update, starting this week, the schedule is back to normal. Deals under $10 on Thursdays, and any price goes on Saturdays. Reviews and everything else, of course, in between. If you do enjoy these rundowns or Switch content in general, then do be sure to subscribe, it really helps the channel. And if you haven't already and you want the PlayStation equivalent, find PlayStationCorner linked in the comments below. Now, let's get into it. Kill Knight is 33% off, a new low price, and I absolutely love this game. Easily one of my favourite indie titles of the year. Fair warning here though, it is brutally difficult. It's a twin-stick shooter with bullet hell elements, and it demands precise mastery of its many mechanics, from invincibility frame dashes to weapon swaps, parries, even melee attacks which double as your only way to reload. Basically, it's going to throw a whole lot at you. On top of this, stylistically, it is stunning, with a retro aesthetic that's dark, neon-soaked, and just dripping with atmosphere. The story then, it's minimal. Once a Lyle Knight betrayed and cast into the abyss, you rise as the Kill Knight with one goal: kill the last angel. Gameplay-wise, it's all about aggression and precision. Each of the 5 arenas ramps up the intensity with relentless enemies and challenges. And yeah, basically expect to be weaving through hordes, exploiting enemy weaknesses, and unleashing a devastating wrath blast to turn the tide. Success then earns you new weapons and equipment to expand your arsenal, letting you tailor your playstyle and climb the global leaderboards. This is one for those who crave high-stakes combat and a brutal challenge, so yeah, if that sounds like your thing, it's a must-buy. My review is pinned below. Pizza Tower is 25% off, a new low price. It's another one of my favourites this year. It's a chaotic, fast-paced platformer. Kind of feels like a fusion of Wario Land and Sonic, but with its own wild twist. It's actually all about maintaining momentum here as you dash, jump and smash through a surreal world filled with just, bizarre characters. The animation in particular is a standout. It has that old school Ren and Stimpy vibe, and sure, it won't be for everyone, but I think it looks great in motion. The story then, just as bonkers. You play as Peppino Spaghetti, an unexpectedly nimble and powerful Italian chef on a mission to destroy the Pizza Tower and save his restaurant from ruin. Along the way, you'll be collecting toppings, beating up monsters, and uncovering secrets hidden across the tower's 5 floors. The gameplay though, overall, gives you plenty of freedom. You can go all out for high scores with precision speedrunning, or take your time to explore every little corner of these maps. It's all just basically, really creative. There's some wild moments, things like turning into a ghost, but I want to leave it there, no spoilers. You can find my full review below. Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven is 25% off at a new low price, and this is a standard RPG in 2024. I reviewed it, I loved it, find that video below, but overall just fantastic. And I had little knowledge of the original. The combat though for me strikes a perfect balance, fair but challenging, and the unique mechanics like permanent character deaths and managing a kingdom across generations just makes it feel very different. It also then looks and runs great on the Switch. Regarding the story then, it casts you as the Emperor of Avalon, tasked with defending your empire against the vengeful 7 heroes. These were warriors whose exile has twisted them into powerful foes. The journey again spans generations, and through it you are able to recruit from over 30 classes, each with unique traits and abilities. Then successive rulers, they inherit the skills and knowledge of their predecessors, which is a very cool kind of legacy system. You can even listen to the original soundtrack or a new rearranged one, whichever takes your fancy. Yakuza Kiwami is 25% off, and seeing this series finally arrive on the Switch feels like a dream come true for longtime fans like myself. Played and loved every follow-up in the franchise, and this first entry, it's where it all began. A fantastic starting point as well for newcomers. For me though, Yakuza, it filled the Shenmue-shaped hole back in the day with its mix of incredible storytelling, deep gameplay, and just, quirky charm. Now the story follows Kiryu, a Yakuza who takes the fall for a murder and spends 10 years in prison. Upon his release, he finds himself thrust into a world of gang wars, betrayal, and personal redemption, all set against the Red Light District. The gameplay offers a mix of exploration, broader combat, and a variety of fighting styles. So basically, you can switch between 4 styles: Brawler, Rush, Beast, and Dragon, each suited to different situations. Now, when you need a break from the action, this world is also packed with distractions. Think karaoke, arcades, batting cages, cabaret clubs, and a whole lot more. Then, while the Switch version delivers, I'd say, well overall, I will add there are moments where the frame rate takes a hit, but I think it's still a great way to experience this classic, and it comes highly recommended. Today's video is sponsored by Chernobylite, a game I originally played on PlayStation, really enjoyed, and now it's made its way to Switch, bringing its mix of science fiction, survival horror, and RPG mechanics to the handheld platform. If you're looking for something atmospheric and intense, I think this is a title you don't want to miss. So in Chernobylite, you play as Igor, a physicist returning to the Chernobyl exclusion zone to uncover the truth behind his fiance's disappearance. This happened years ago. The game, it masterfully blends survival, stealth, and exploration with choices that shape the story, your companions, they're going to be working alongside you, and the world itself. What truly sets it apart, though, is the setting. Thanks to real-world 3D scans of Chernobyl, the zone feels hauntingly authentic, filled with detail and, of course, horror. Now, the gameplay then involves scavenging for resources, crafting weapons and gadgets, and recruiting a team to help you survive the dangers lurking in the zone. You'll also build and upgrade a base while making tough decisions that lead to different outcomes, ensuring every single playthrough feels unique. Plus, this complete edition includes the full game and all free updates adding extra missions, locations, weapons, and modes for the ultimate experience. I think what might surprise many with this as well is it's not just the human enemies, there's a whole lot of paranormal packed in too. But yeah, right now it's available on the Switch, but I will say don't wait too long, this sale ends soon. And if you do actually own another Untold Tales release, you can actually snag it for an even bigger discount of 50% off. Now, thanks to Untold Tales for sponsoring this video, grab Chernobylite today and dive into one of the best survival games out there. Also, there's a sequel in the works, so here's hoping we'll see that one on the Switch too in the future. BAKERU is here with 30% off a new low price, and for fans of 3D platformers, this one's a treat. Now, it's often considered a spiritual successor to Mystical and Ninja. Basically, a lot of charm, great level design, tons of collectibles to keep you busy. I actually imported this one from Japan a year ago because I love Mystical Ninja, and while the story basically remained a mystery to me thanks to the lack of English support, the gameplay stood out as a blast. The only downside I really noted, a slightly kind of fluctuating frame rate that takes some getting used to. The gameplay, though, and story, well, it's set in a unique fairy tale of Japan. It blends modern and historical elements across 50 plus stages, and as BAKERU, you will travel across 47 prefectures to free Japan from the clutches of Oracle Sotaro and his evil festival spirits. You're armed with this drum that's been passed down through to you, and you'll be fighting enemies and basically using it to overcome these different, like, almost traps. What really makes it stand out, though, in my opinion, it's the transformation mechanic. By collecting henge licenses, you can take on the forms of famous Japanese folk heroes like Kintaro and Momotaro, each granting unique abilities. For its Western release then, a few extras were added, like new attacks, Hurricane and Spinning Top, but also an additional enemy, the Lantern Boss, but this wasn't enough to tempt me in for a second purchase. So yeah, regarding how good that story was, but I think you're coming here for the gameplay, so yeah, I'm happy to recommend it. Wreckfest is 60% off a new low price for players in the UK, EU and Australia. It's matching everywhere else, but it is easily one of the best races available on the system. Now, if you're after arcade action with a twist, it's hard to beat this. The highlight for me, though, is the career mode, where you'll be racing everything from lawnmowers to school buses to more traditional options. It's this perfect blend of racing and destruction derby, and honestly, who doesn't love that? The game also offers a decent level of customization as well. You can kit out your vehicles for demolition dominance with reinforced bumpers, roll cages, side protectors, or go the speed route with performance upgrades like new air filters and fuel systems. It's actually also a great multiplayer option too. Yeah, highly recommended. Find my review below. Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning is 65% off a new low price, and for action RPG fans, this is a cool classic. Yes, it shows its age in places, particularly with how lifeless the world can sometimes feel, but it still offers this great mix of combat, exploration, and storytelling. Plus, this remastered edition includes all DLC and some added refinements, making it the definitive way to play. The story unfolds though in the world of Amalur, where you uncover its secrets as the first warrior ever resurrected from death. Your goal, rescue a world torn apart by war, while uncovering the key to immortality along the journey. The remaster then looks and plays great on the system, so yeah, for fans of the genre, it's an adventure well worth diving into. Also, if you need any more convincing, the team behind it is a powerhouse of best-selling author R.A. Salvatore, Spawn creator Todd McFarlane, and Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion lead designer Ken Rolston. Ninja Gaiden Master Collection is 40% off a new low price, and for anyone craving ultra-challenging 3D hack-and-slash action, this is a series that set the bar. Revisiting these games years later, they've lost none of their edge, delivering the same fast-paced combat that made them incredible back in the day. Now we even have a new 2D entry in the works, extremely excited for that, but hopefully maybe a 3D sequel isn't too far behind. My only gripe with this release was the colour palette in the first game. It feels a bit muted compared to my memories, but I don't know, maybe that's just me. But anyway, this collection includes 3 titles, 1, 2 and 3 Razor's Edge, each packed with their original modes and all previously released DLC costumes. The only thing missing, multiplayer components, but I don't even actually remember what those were, honestly. I was just here for the story, the all-out action, and in that sense, this package delivers. There's even multiple playable characters, which is definitely a nice touch. Neva is 20% off a new but low price, and it's another standout release from the team behind Gris. Much like its predecessor, this is a visually stunning game with a touching narrative and an incredible soundtrack. I absolutely adored it, in fact find my review below. But what sets this apart is the addition of combat, which works surprisingly well. There are even some challenging boss encounters that are great fun because the game combines it with pretty tough platforming as well. Now the story then follows Alba, a young woman bound to a wolf cub after a traumatic encounter with dark forces. As they journey through a world consumed by decay, their bond grows and evolves. However, the cub matures into a powerful wolf, forging its own identity, but also testing the trust and love between them. This dynamic is just woven beautifully, basically, into both the narrative and the gameplay, and it creates a tale of survival and connection. And yeah, I think it does a really good job, especially from a gameplay perspective as well. It does this nice job of balancing exploration, puzzle solving, and combat. Disco Elysium, the final cut, is 70% off and matching its lowest price. This is an absolute must-play for RPG fans who love a strong narrative focus. This game is easily one of my favourites of the generation, blending deep storytelling with tabletop RPG elements in a way that actually feels fresh and unique. If you are considering the Switch version as well, it looks and runs great, but I should mention that at launch, there were issues with load times. Now thankfully those have been patched since my review, the video is below, so if you do check that out, just know that is no longer an issue. Now the story places you in the role of a detective waking up in a trashed hotel room with no memory of who you are really or why you are there. From here, you're thrown into an open-ended investigation of a murder case in a city dripping with political attention and societal decay. The narrative is incredible, full of philosophical undertones, humor and heartbreak, and every choice you make shapes not just the story, but your character's identity in meaningful ways. Gameplay then feels like a love letter to tabletop RPGs, and instead of traditional combat here, I should note, everything revolves around skill checks, dialogue choices, so dice rolling, for example. This is all then driven by an extensive skill system. Your detective's abilities as well, ranging from logic to empathy. These aren't just stats, but voices in your head. They influence your decisions in ways that are often hilarious, sometimes tragic, honestly, but also incredibly engaging. Throw in on top of this then, fully voice acted work, and it is at the highest level, and an incredible soundtrack, and yeah, absolute masterpiece. Alright, calling this Sword 7 because I'll butcher the name, but this is 40% off a new low price, and it's a unique action RPG that's worth a look. I reviewed it, find that video below, but I went in expecting, I guess, rough performance. It actually surprised me. While it's not perfect and frame rate drops do happen, you can tell that they push the Switch hardware to its limits, and I think the result is a very good action RPG with decent performance, which is honestly notable since options like this are rare on the system. Now the story, it follows a swordsman as he fights to protect his family and uncover the truth behind a blight threatening all of China. Set near the end of the Western Han Dynasty, the game weaves this tale of war, famine, and a mythical artifact known as the Elysium Scroll. It's basically a blend of ancient Chinese history and mythology, reimagined as this kind of chaotic realm under the rule of the Xin Dynasty. Regarding gameplay then, expect combo-based real-time combat, letting you slash, block, dodge, and parry with precision. Alongside that, you can alter the environment, upgrade armor, develop passive skills, and learn new techniques as you do explore the world. I will also add here, it's a standalone story, so no prior knowledge of the series is needed, because I know that 7 could put people off in the title. Berserk Boy is 35% off, hitting a new low price, and if you're into the Mega Man formula with a, let's say, fresh spin, it's worth your time. I reviewed it, linked below, and while I thought it started a bit slow, once the abilities do kick in, it became a blast. The pixel art and chunky sprites in particular stand out, I'm a big fan of them. And now the story, it follows K, a rookie hero infused with mysterious orb energy, transforming him into the title Berserk Boy. His mission to stop a sinister doctor and his army of dark energy minions from enslaving Earth. So yeah, it's a classic setup that leans heavily on high-speed action and over-the-top battles, but the gameplay is awesome. It's all about chaining combos, filling your Berserk meter, and unleashing these devastating special attacks. As you do progress then, you'll upgrade abilities, becoming basically even more unstoppable. Stages then, I do really like them, so I quickly want to mention them. There's loads of like hidden paths, missions, and collectibles to discover, so if you like the idea of platformer, Mega Man style, great soundtrack too, check this one out. 1000 Resist is 25% off, and if you love a strong narrative focus, this is one of the best games of the year. It flew under the radar, but it's truly something special, offering a sci-fi story packed with twists, emotion, and mystery. Now, I don't want to spoil anything here, of course, but let's just say it's one of those games that's going to stick with you. So yeah, I'm going to stick to the blurb here, but set 1000 years in the future, humanity has been nearly wiped out by a disease brought by a mysterious alien race called the Occupants. Now, the survivors, they live underground, led by the All-Mother Iris, an immortal woman who claims to protect them. Now, you play as Watcher, one of Iris's clones. You're tasked with reliving her memories through a process called communions. But when your sister, Fixer, reveals a dangerous secret about the All-Mother, your perception of everything unravels. So yeah, the gameplay around this, it blends exploration, puzzle solving, and narrative-driven mechanics as you basically piece together the truth. So yeah, you're going to be jumping through these pivotal moments in Iris's life. I really like the fact it shifts between third-person adventure, visual novel elements, and first-person exploration. It works really well, and on top of all of this, perhaps most impressively for an indie release, it is fully voice-acted, which really elevates the whole experience. CONSCRIPT hits a new low price for players in the UK, EU and Australia. It's matching other regions. This is a unique experience, so not necessarily in gameplay. It's an isometric action survival horror with RPG elements, but actually in theme. It's set during the horrors of World War I, and it captures the tension and the dread of war in a way that's seriously impressive. Be warned though, this one doesn't hold your hand. Combat can be punishing, but figuring out where to go next often requires patience and careful exploration. Now, regarding the story, you play as a French soldier searching for his missing brother during a battle. This brutal backdrop sets the stage for classic survival horror mechanics. Think limited resources, tough enemies, intricate level design, item management, environmental puzzles, overlapping areas that encourage kind of strategic route planning. It's got all that good stuff, but it's then blended with that theme, and it's just really impressive. I also really appreciated the sound design. It's particularly scary, and I also love the visual style, 3D but pixelated. It's kind of got this old school charm. Our winners of the week then, the codes are going to Sparky and Liquid. Congrats on the win both. Email me for the codes, and everyone else, drop a comment below for your chance in this Saturday's video. Octopath Traveler closes out our list then with a massive 60% discount, hitting a new low price, and this is one of the most influential RPGs in recent memory. Its sequel was great too, but this is where it all started. You know, beyond its strong gameplay and story, it pioneered now iconic HD 2D art style, and it inspired a wave of releases that followed. The game, it centers on 8 unique characters, each with their own story, abilities, and I guess reasons for embarking on a journey across this world. So yeah, whether you're a merchant seeking to expand your horizons, or maybe a warrior tracking a traitor, the freedom to shape your adventure is in your hands, and it's really fun in that sense. But yeah, you'll also get to play as each traveler, experiencing their struggles and strengths while making choices that shape the overall narrative. Gameplay then, incredible turn-based combat. So yeah, for RPG fans, Octopath Traveler, it's a must-play. And that is the video down. What will you be adding to the library this week? Let me know in the comments. With that then, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, deals, news and list daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Cheers all.